Hello. You're welcome to CB Tech Incorporation. I am Banari. I want to use this opportunity to thank all of you who have subscribed to the channel. We thank you for supporting. Please, if you have not yet subscribed, please do well. Hit on the subscription button and try to put on the notification bell icon so that all the videos that will be dropping, you get an alert whenever any video is actually uploaded, so that you be abreast with the new stuff that will be dropping on this platform or on this YouTube channel. So if it is your first time, please go to YouTube. So please, on YouTube, you actually search for CB Tech _INC and when you select, actually this page will come, and you click on this to open. You subscribe, and after subscribing, please, you click here, you see Facebook. Our Facebook page will come, okay, and then when it opens, please do well to follow us also on Facebook. You can click on you like the video, you like our page on Facebook. Then again, you click on Instagram, the link here, it will bring you straight to the Instagram page, and then you also be able to follow us on Instagram. Okay, you'll be able to see us on Instagram and then follow us. Then on Twitter, you can also follow us on Twitter. The name is @Banari Cletus. And last but not least, on TikTok, you will see us there, and the name is cbtech.inc. okay, please follow us, watch our videos. Don't forget to comment, don't forget to share to friends. If you are using a phone, you may not be seeing this particular page, but what you just need to do is to go to the About section on the page, and then all these other links I just talked about, the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram and TikTok, you see there, just click on it. It will lead you to our pages, and then you will be able to subscribe, you'll be able to follow us. Thank you once again for your support. Thank you once again for joining us always. So let us start today's lesson. Okay, so welcome once again. I am CB Tech, and you can call me CB Tech, you can call me Banari, and I'll respond. And today we are going to continue from our previous lessons. Now, in the previous lessons, we talked about the fact that we have ways of using Excel to read some text files. So we looked at the .txt files, and we used two scenarios to actually read text files. One of which was the comma delimited file, and also the other was the tab delimited file. And with the comma, the comma delimited file, we were able to actually use Excel. We were able to go step by step how we can use Excel to read such a file, and it was very simple. Please, if it is the first time you are joining, I will urge you, the previous lessons, the links are dropped in the comment section or on this video's description. Please check and go back and then watch the videos. Give us a like, comment, give us your views on the videos that we do. You can also give us suggestions on some of the videos that you think are most appropriate, and we can do well to actually work on those videos, and then we will improve in our ways of delivering the best results that we all want at the end of the day. Now let's move into today's lesson. Now today's lesson is going to focus a bit more on how we can manipulate data in Excel. Okay, so I've termed it basic data manipulation in MS Excel. So because we'll be dealing with a whole lot of data in Excel, there are so many ways we can actually use we can actually manipulate the data that we actually import in or that we work on in Excel. So without much ado, let's move straight inside. Let's go. Okay, so we are going to move inside, but I'm going to add some few items that will actually help us to kind of get some basic knowledge as we progress. So I'll want to move into Excel straight away, but I have a file that we are going to use. So I've termed the file store sales, so I'm going to open it. So you can, in order to open, you can just double click, or you can click on it and press enter from the keyboard, and then it will open for you. Okay, so now I have this data and I just opened it in Excel. Okay, now when you come to Excel, we have some the interface gives us a whole bunch of let's say tools that we are able to work with. Just as we looked at it from the MS Word, we said there are tabs, and here we have tabs here. Okay, these are all tabs, and then each tab has got tools. So under home, we have the home tab, the insert tab, the page layout tab, formulas, data, review, and then view. Okay, these are the main tabs that we have, and we are saying that we have file here, which we know from the MS Word window. We know what we can use them for. The same thing that we are able to use the MS Word file, the file tab to do. This Excel file tab is also able to do same with us. Now under the home tab, we have a lot of tools here which we'll be using from time to time, but we understand that the whole of this area is what we term as the ribbon. Okay, the whole of this area is what we term as the ribbon. So the ribbon we have in MS Word, we still have another ribbon also here. So if I select insert gives me the ribbon, gives me the insert tools. Okay, the insert tab tools, and all these tools that we see here are under the insert tab. Okay, we have the heading, let me say the title bar, then we have the that is the Windows buttons, that is the close, the restore, the minimize, and so on and so forth. All those items are the same. The what is that? The status bar and whatsoever. Now let's move again. So here there's an introduction of something at the home, and we say that this is name box. We'll learn how to use it later on. This is a formula bar, and then we say this is the return, and this is what, cancel. Okay, so and this is fx, that is if you want to insert what, a function, we use this to actually do that. If you enter items, for example, this particular thing that I've entered, if I want to actually allow Excel to accept it, I click here to do that. That is the same as pressing enter for your keyboard. Okay, and then this one is to cancel, and which is the same as let's say clicking out the outer part, that is pressing the escape from what, your keyboard. Now let's dive into today's lesson. So what we are going to look at today is that we are going to look at how we can move the cursor from the top to the bottom, that is within a column. Okay, now in Excel, when we say a column, the columns are represented with what, the letters that we see there. The columns are represented with letters. So we have column A, column B, column C, column D, column E, F, and so on and so forth. Okay, so if we look at these items that we have here, this data, we have it up to column M. Okay, we have it up to column M, and then we have rows. There are also rows. Okay, so and the column are the ones represented with alphabets. Okay, the letters A, B, C in that order. Then the rows are represented with what, the numbers. So we have row 1, row 2, okay, row 3, row 4, row 5 in that order. Now a row and a column, when they intersect, that is this particular row and this particular column, when they intersect, they give us what we call a cell. So this is a cell, this is a cell, this is a cell, this is also a cell. So any place at all that I click, for example here I have column F, okay, intersecting with column row 5, and then that gives me a cell here. Okay, now this particular cell has got a name, or what we call a cell reference. So there's a reference to it. So the name of this cell is generated, or it is gotten from the column name and that of what, the row name. And we start with the column name. So we say F5. Okay, so this F5. And now let me open a blank sheet. So if we have F5, this is F5. Okay, now we can also have a column C intersecting with maybe row 10. Okay, so if C and 10 are intersecting, then we have a cell reference, and the cell reference is what will be called as what, C10. So this cell is cell C10. Okay, now when you identify a cell, there is a particular when a cell reference is generated, it is displayed on what we call the name box, and this is the name box. Okay, so the name box here, any cell at all that is selected, the name box displays the cell reference there for us. So this is L10. If I just click here, I know that this is H17, and then if I select here, this is what, F19, and so on and so forth. Okay, now that is how that is basically some few tips. Then again, when I select a particular cell, you see that it becomes different from the rest of the other cells. So this one becomes a bit deep. Becomes a bit deeper. Let me increase the size more. So you see that it becomes quite deeper and looks a bit deeper as compared to the rest of the cells. Okay, now a selected cell is what we call an active cell. and this particular active cell is ready to, it is the one that is ready to accept data inputs or to accept input into it. So among all the cells I have here, the one that is selected is the one that is ready to accept input from my keyboard. So if I should start typing something, let's say 240, okay, then it appears. If I press enter, then it means that I want this particular 240 to actually be to be the entries that will be under the C4 here. Either I press enter or I click on this particular arrow, the same thing. Okay, then let's assume that I typed 340 and I realize that no, that is not what I wanted to actually type. Then I can click on cancel, then it will cancel it for me. So it's just the same as that, either that is pressing the escape on your keyboard. So that is what we can use these two functions, or let's say these two options that we have on the formula bar to do. Another thing too is that when I click on a particular cell, I can decide to click at the top here and type, and as I type, the whatever thing that I type within the formula bar is what will be appearing in the cell. So let's say I click on this particular cell, I can decide to click at the top here, and as I type, that whatever thing that I type there is what appears in the cell that is selected. So in Excel, anytime that you want to type something, you have to actually find out where what is the selected cell before you begin to make entries. Okay, so that is how it is here. Now let's go to the data that I have, and then we'll look at the main topic for the day. Now we are saying that we can use Excel. Let's say we can manipulate our data by moving between the cells or between the data that we have. Now if you look at this particular data, we have column A up to, I'm still going up to column M. Okay, so it means that if I want column M, I want to select an item within the M column, then I'll have to either use the scroll, that is the horizontal scroll bar here, to either move there, or I'll have to click somewhere, then I'll use the right arrow to move to the particular let's say column. But we want to save time. We want to look at how we can work on our things very fast, and so on and so forth. So we want to look at some shortcut keys that will be able to help us manipulate this data as quick as possible. Okay, as quick as possible. Now I want to look at how we can move between the columns. So if we want to move from the first column, okay, that's the first column, to the last item on the column here, then, and if I look at the last item here, I have a lot of data. I want to just look at the last item. Then I want us to appreciate these shortcut keys that we are actually going to talk about. Wow, the data still continues. So you see that it's a very long, it's a big data, okay, and it's possible that you may find yourself in an organization whereby the data that will even be contained there will be even more, like it will even contain a lot of data as compared to the one I'm even actually working on currently. Okay, so I've now moved to the end of the item, but look at the number of, let's say, the time I wasted before I was able to actually get here. So we are saying that we can use Excel to we can manipulate the data by using some shortcut keys to do that. Okay, So how do we do this, or how do we use Excel? How do we manipulate the data so that we are able to move between the columns? Now the first item is selected. Okay, let's assume that I want to move to the last item within this column. That is, I want to move vertically. Okay, how do I do that? I have to press the Control key from my keyboard and press the down arrow. It will move me directly to the last item that is on the column. And if I want to move back to the top, now press Control plus up arrow, the up arrow, and then it will bring me back. So that is how we can move between columns, or we can move vertically within our data. So someone will ask, or if I want to ask you this, I want to ask a question, that how many rows do we have in Excel 2016, that is MS Office 2016. Okay, let me put the question once again. How many cells, how many rows do we have in the Excel 2016 workbook? In the 2016 workbook, how do you know? How are you able to identify that? It is very simple. So I'm going to a blank sheet. Okay, and now we are going to use just the same shortcut key to actually navigate to know how many sheets we have, how many rows we have within the Excel sheet. So what I'm going to do is I'll press Control key and press the down arrow. It will move me to the last row. Okay, this is the last row in this particular workbook, and that is I'm having about I'm having a total of 1,048,576 rows within the Excel 2016 workbook. Okay, and then if I want to move to the first column, Control plus up arrow, and then I'm back to the first row. So now we know. Okay, then let's move back to the next item, which is moving the cursor horizontally. We want to now move horizontally. So by now I know some of you might have already tried tried that of the horizontal. So the horizontal, to do that, you actually, instead of using the up arrow, the up and down arrows, you rather use the left and right, the left and right arrows on the keyboard. Okay, so to move from this particular column to the end of the data that we have here, I'll press the Control key and press the right arrow. Then to move me to the last item on that is the last item to the right of my data. If I want to come back, I'll press Control plus left arrow to bring me to the first item to the right. The first item, yes, to the right of my data. Yes. Then another person will ask, how many columns do we have in Excel? So we'll go back to this sheet and do the same to what we did. That is Control plus the right arrow, and then we have the item that we can now see the number of columns we have. We have up to XFD. That is the columns. And one secret thing that I want you to understand too is that each of the versions of Excel that we have has got some number of columns and then the number of rows that they actually come up with. So if we check that of Excel, let's say 2007, or let's say Excel 2003, 2007, 2010, 2016, Now we even have 2021. So if you have these versions of Excel, they come with the number of cells that are within each of them. So it varies. It actually varies. So there's cell Excel 2003 and that of Excel 2007. The numbers, as the number of cells that are involved, that is in terms of the rows and the columns, is a bit low as compared to that of the Excel 2016 and that of Excel 2010 and 2021. So that is it. So all too soon, this is how we can use Excel. This is how we can manipulate the data within our cells, that is within the Excel interface. So we have learned how we can move from the top to the bottom of the page of our data, and then we have also learned how we can move from the bottom to the top, that is within columns. And we have also moved further to learn how we can use to manipulate our data by actually moving from the first item on the column to the last end of the column that is within our data. We further looked at how we can identify cell references and how we can enter data, how to know that this is the cell that is ready to accept data, and so on and so forth. So all too soon, we have come to the end of today's lesson. Please join me another time. Okay, so we've come to the end of today's lesson. I believe you learned something new today, and I look forward to seeing you in our next episodes. Please do well to subscribe. Please leave a comment, like the video, share to friends, and please don't forget to practice, because they say practice makes a man perfect, and they say it is through practice that makes the monkey to learn how to jump from tree to tree. So please join me another time. Please put on the notification bell icon so that any video that we drop, you'll be the first person to get the alert. Thank you once again. I am Banari, and this is CB Tech Incorporation. I'm out. Peace out.